Hey, Chuck here, Corner Store Card Collector, back with another video. Yes, it's been a while since my last video, but I do have good news. I did receive back my 100 card PSA order for the 1980s special they did a couple months ago. So I did get that back. Been sitting on it for about a week. I was out in New York. I went to the Buffalo Bills Tampa Bay Buccaneers Thursday night game last week and spent a little bit more time in New York visiting family and stuff. So I got home, got through the order, looked at them. Pretty pleased with most of the grades. Did have a couple of duds. But the good news is I have my order back, and let's check out and see how I did. All right, let me flip the camera around and we'll look at the grades. All right, so as I was saying, I did receive back my 100 card PSA order from PSA. This order consists of the 1980s special that they did back in July, and I did submit 100 cards for this order. But before I do the reveal, I just want to talk about a couple things. I know it's been a while since I've done a video. Had a lot of things going on, but I was in New York for a little while. Last week I went to the Buffalo Bills Tampa Bay Buccaneers Thursday night football game with my brother. He's a season ticket holder, and good atmosphere. Had a good time. Glad we got the win. Kind of nail biter at the end there, but I had a really good time. Also spent some time with my family up there, specifically my mom, who's not doing well. So I spent a few days with her. Came back, had been sitting on this order for about a week and a half, and finally got to it. Went through the cards, looked at the grades, that kind of stuff. So I'm ready to do the reveal. And then also I wanted to just give a shout out to the Texas Rangers, who just won their first World Series. Not that I'm a big baseball fan, but living in East Texas now, I like to support our state teams here. So just giving them a shout out for winning their first World Series. All right, so the 100 card order, I mean, I did pretty good. I'm really pleased with the grades that I got. For cards that were from the 1980s, I got higher grades than I expected. So that tells me that I basically took care of my cards, because the majority of the cards that I sent in were cards that I collected either during that year of issue or a couple years after that. Out of the 100 cards I sent in, 99 got graded, 1 did not, and it's this one right here. So it's my 1981 Topps Julius Erving. Says it's miscut. I don't really understand their theory behind miscut, because I have cards that should have been labeled as miscut that got graded. I don't see any reason why this card couldn't have got graded. And then I got some cards that look like this and they don't get graded. So it's just very confusing when the human element is put on these cards here, and some decide to grade them, some decide not to grade them. So anyways, that's the one that did not get graded. So I did get 99 out of the 100 graded. So let's go ahead and take a look at them. So I did have representatives for all 4 sports: football, baseball, basketball, and and hockey. The majority of the ones are baseball and football, and then I have probably 20 or so basketball and hockey. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, we'll start out with some football. First one is this Reggie White, 1986 Topps rookie. Came back a PSA 7. I do have this one in a PSA 8, so this one will be sold. This is his first Topps NFL card. I know he does have a rookie card in the USFL set. I don't know if it's 84 or 85. I want to say it's 84. But anyways, this is his NFL rookie. And the majority of all the cards I sent in were either rookie cards of the stars or star cards, 2nd, 3rd, 4th year cards. Next up, I have these 2 Terry Bradshaws, these 1983s. One came back at PSA 7, one came back at PSA 8. They both have print lines on them, as you can see up here in the upper right hand corner. You can see the arrow from the cutting mark. I thought they would drastically affect the grades. Maybe on this one it did, but this PSA 8 looks pretty good. I do have this in a PSA 9, so both of these will be sold. Here's a 1984 Topps Ryan Sandberg 2nd year card in a PSA 9. I do have this as a PSA 9 in my collection already, so I'll be selling this one. Here's my first dud, this 1987 Donruss Barry Bonds. This one came back a PSA 5. Not really sure, it might be off center, maybe left and right, maybe a little bit top and bottom, but I was expecting this to come back an 8. For whatever reason, it came back a 5. Here's another one that's a head scratcher. This 85 Topps Mark McGwire rookie in a PSA 6. This is a tough card to grade. I sent another one in a while back, and that one came back as 7. I see it's miscut left to right, but a 6, I don't know. This card's in pretty good shape. There's got to be something I missed on it, though. The majority of the cards that I think are graded lower than what they should be, most of the times I find the reasons why they were graded. So I can look at this one a little closer, but that one came back a 6. Here's a nice Michael Jordan 88 Flair All-Star card. Came back a PSA 8. I do have this one in a PSA 9 in my collection, so I will be selling this one. Here's a 1989 Bowman Ken Griffey Jr. and a PSA 9. Nice Griffey rookie. Here's a 1985 Topps Joe Montana and a PSA 8. There's a 1980 Topps Wayne Gretzky record breaker, unscratched, in a PSA 6. There's a 1981 Topps Peter Stastny rookie card in a PSA 8. I also have this one as I have another PSA 8 in my collection, so I'll be selling this one. There's a 1984 Topps Dan Marino rookie in a PSA 5. This is the 4th one that I've sent in. The first one I got a PSA 8 on. The other 3 I got 2 5s and a 6. So these are all from my childhood, back in the early to mid 80s collecting. So I'm not expecting to get, 9s and 10s on them. But I was happy to get one in an 8. So that one came back a 5. There's a 1980 Topps Terry Bradshaw in a PSA 6. I do have this in a PSA 9 already in my collection, so this one I'll be selling. Not expecting to get too much for it, but it'll be up for sale. There's a nice 1986 Topps Walter Payton in a PSA 9. These 86 are really difficult to get high grades on, so I was very pleased to get this in a PSA 9. I think it's valued around $100. Yeah, it's a good card. There's a 1989 Flair Ken Griffey Jr. rookie in a PSA 8. Got a couple of Bruce Smith rookie cards, 86 Topps. One came back as 7, one came back an 8. There's a Griffey Upper Deck rookie, came back as 6. This is another difficult card to get graded in high grade. I do have it in an 8 already in my collection, but for some reason I thought this card was at least an 8, potentially a 9, and lo and behold, it came back a PSA 6. There's a nice 1987 Topps Wayne Gretzky in a PSA 9. Later in his career. another 87 Topps Patrick Waugh. I think this is his third-year card in a PSA 9. Nice Randall Cunningham rookie card in a PSA 9. I've sent 2 other versions in. Both came back 6s. So this is another difficult card to grade. But I'm happy to get the 9. Here's an 89 Topps traded Nolan Ryan. Came back a PSA 7. '87 Leslie O'Neal. Topps rookie. Came back a PSA 8. Got a couple of Herschel Walker Topps rookie cards, NFL rookie cards. Both came back PSA 8s. He does have a rookie card in the, I think, 85 USFL set. Either 84 or 85, I'm not really sure which one, but these both came back PSA 8s. There's a nice 89 Flair Michael Jordan. Came back a PSA 8. Off center, top and bottom, left and right. So I was expecting this to come back an 8. Here's another head scratcher, this 1989 Topps Randy Johnson. This one came back a PSA 6. So I'll definitely be looking to upgrade this one. Here's an 89 Topps traded Deion Sanders in a PSA 9. Here's my first PSA 10. This 89 Upper Deck Barry Bonds came back a PSA 10. Didn't get very many PSA 10s in this order, but I was very pleased with the amount of 9s I got. So anyways, this one came back a 10. Here's an 88 Topps Dan Marino in a PSA 9. I do have this as a PSA 10 in my collection, so this one will be up for sale. Here's a 1989 Upper Deck Nolan Ryan in a PSA 6. Neat photo of him in his Rangers uniform throwing a football. Pretty neat. Here's a nice 1989 score Barry Sanders in a PSA 9. This is the third time I've graded this card. My 2 other submissions came back 6s. So I was pleased to get this at a 9. This one's got pretty good value at a 9. Here's an 89 Topps Bo Jackson, my favorite athlete. This one came back in a PSA 9, so I'm happy with that. Michael Irving, rookie, 89 Topps in a PSA 8. I do have this in a 10, so that'll be for sale. Here's his Pro Set rookie in a PSA 9. Here's a 1989 Greg Maddux Upper Deck in a PSA 6. Here's another head scratcher right here. This 89 Hoops David Robinson rookie came back a PSA 4. Still can't figure out why. I'll look at it a little bit later. But yeah, didn't do very well. Here's an 89 Topps Brendan Shanahan in a PSA 8. I believe this is his second year card. Might be his rookie, I'm not sure. Here's my next PSA 10. This 89 Hoops Michael Jordan All-Star card. Came back at 10. I think this has a value of about 90 bucks, maybe 100 bucks. It's pretty cool to get 10s on your 80s cards. You wouldn't expect them, you know, these cards have been around for a while. You wouldn't expect to get 10s, but it's pretty cool to get them. Next up is this 1989 Topps Traded Randy Johnson rookie. This one came back a PSA 8. Here's a Deion Sanders Pro Set rookie, 89. This one came back a PSA 8. Here's another dud, this 1987 Donruss Mark McGwire rated rookie card. This one came back a 6. Not sure why. I have to look at it a little closer, but came back a 6. There's a 1988 OPG Wayne Gretzky in a PSA 8. Nice photo of him in his LA Kings uniform. I got 2 of these Greg Maddux Topps Traded. Both came back PSA 9s. Troy Aikman rookie, his Pro Set rookie, 89 Pro Set came back a 9. Here's another dud. This 89 Score came from the same factory set that I had from with the 9 that I got on the Barry Sanders. So I was expecting this to do as well, but came back a 6. Here's an 88 Topps Mario Lemieux in a 9. '89 Hoops Scottie Pippen. And came back a PSA 8. I got 2 of these 89 Hoops Michael Jordans. One came back a 9, one came back a 7. I do have this in a PSA 10, so both of these will be for sale. Here's Michael Irving's 1989 Score rookie card in PSA 8. '89 Pro Set Thurman Thomas rookie. This one came back a PSA 7. I do have this in a PSA 9 in an old slab. So I'm trying to replace that slab. I'm actually trying to get it 10. I got a bunch more of these to send in. I'm hoping they don't come back as low as these 7s are. So I'll have to do a better selection on that. But anyways, that one came back a 7. Another head scratcher. This 84 Topps Traded Dwight Gooden. This one came back a PSA 5. Got a little discoloration to it. I'm not sure if the traded set had a little discoloration. You can see it's off center on the back, but they don't really hit you hard on the back centering. I know they hit you, but not that hard. You have to look at that card a little bit more. There's a 5. Here's a 1987 Steve Yzerman in a PSA 8. Here's a 1984 Topps Don Mattingly rookie. That one came back a PSA 9. Thought this one had an outside shot at a 10. Happy with the 9 though. Here's an 89 Flair Scottie Pippen in a 9. Second year card. Here's an 88 Topps Bo Jackson rookie. This one came back a PSA 8. Here's an 83 Topps Wade Boggs rookie. This one came back a PSA 9. Third year Reggie White. This one came back a PSA 9. Here's an 88 Flair Larry Bird in a 9. I'm sorry, 89 Flair. Anyway, came back a 9. There's a 1983 Donruss Ryan Sandberg rookie in a PSA 8. Another head scratcher here. This 87 Topps Stickers Mario Lemieux came back a PSA 4. Off center, top to bottom, left to right looks good. Not really sure why it came back a 4. I mean, when the number's that low, you'd think there's something major wrong with it. I don't know if it's got surface scratches. It's actually in pretty good shape. I have to look at that one again, but that one came back a 4. Here's my 86 OPC Patrick Waugh rookie card. I knew this one was going to get beat up. This card I didn't take very good care of back when I was a kid. He was one of my favorite players back then. Anyways, this one came back a 3. I was hoping to get a 4 on it. I just wanted to get it in a slab though. Came back a 3. Here's a 1988 Topps Andre Reed. PSA 9. A 1988 Flair Scottie Pippen rookie in a PSA 9. Here's a 1983 Donruss Tony Gwynn in a PSA 8. '88 Topps Randall Cunningham second year card in a PSA 9. I just recently pulled this out of a pack. I actually did the pack opening on camera, so you'll see that card there if you watch that video. But yeah, it came back a 9. Looked like it was going to be a 10. And it could have been, but it came back a 9. Okay, next up are these two 1988 Flair Dennis Rodman rookies. Both came back PSA 8s. There's a 1985 Topps Wayne Gretzky in a PSA 8. A 1983 Donruss Wade Boggs rookie in a PSA 9. I was pretty pleased with my early 80s baseball cards. They did pretty good. Got a lot of good 9s on them. Hoping for 10s, but you know, I got 9s. There's an 87 Topps Roger Craig. Got some hair on there. This one came back a PSA 9. Next is this 1983 Topps Ryan Sandberg rookie in a PSA 9. A 1982 Donruss Cal Ripken Jr. rookie in a PSA 9. Next up is this 1985 Topps Steve Yzerman in a PSA 8. (1987) Topps Howie Long in a PSA 9. Got this 86 Topps John Elway in a PSA 8. Again, these 86 Topps football cards are extremely hard to get high grades in. The centering issues, the little markings on the card, these little yellow fisheye dots. Anyways, got that in the neat. Next up is this 87 Flair Patrick Ewing. This one came back a PSA 8. Next I have this 1982 Flair Cal Ripken Jr. This one came back a PSA 8. '84 Topps Wayne Gretzky, PSA 8. Next up is this 1986 Flair Isaiah Thomas rookie. This one came back a PSA 8. Andre Reed's 1986 Topps rookie card. This one came back a PSA 8. Another 1984 Topps Wayne Gretzky from the same set. This one came back a PSA 8. I think this card was in his the team sequential cards, and then the higher number that one I just did a couple seconds ago is from his All-Star selection. Anyways, this one's a PSA 8. Here's a cool one. This 1982 ASA Mantle Story 55 Hall of Fame game. This one came back a PSA 7. I like the face mold Mickey Mantle signature on the front of the card. Nice batting posture. Cool card. This one came back a PSA 7. Next up is this 1986 Flair Chris Mullin. Came back a PSA 7. There's a 1985 Topps Henry Ellard rookie card. This one came back a PSA 7. I think he was another USFL player, and then when the USFL folded, started playing in the NFL. There's a 1981 Topps Bill Lambert. This one came back a PSA 9. Happy with that. Here's two 1981 Topps Wayne Gretzky's. Both came back PSA 8s. I also have two 1982 Topps Cal Ripken rookies. One came back a PSA 8, one came back a PSA 7. Next up is this dud right here, this 1985 Topps Joe Ferguson. I wouldn't typically grade a card like this. I did come back a PSA 5. I was expecting at least an 8 on this, but this is going in my Buffalo Bills PC. Joe Ferguson was my favorite quarterback in the 1970s and early 80s when he was playing for the Buffalo Bills. I think this is his last card in a Bills uniform. I think he got traded to the Detroit Lions either during this season or at the end of this season. He played like a year or two and got injured. But he was really good, brought the Bills to the playoffs in the early 80s, first time since the mid-60s. Shreveport native. Good quarterback, at least in my eyes he was. Here's a 1980 Topps Rebounding Leaders, Larry Bird. In the center there, this one came back a PSA 8. Another 1980 Topps Scoring Leaders with Larry Bird. This one came back a PSA 8. Have this 1980 Topps Wayne Gretzky second year card. This one came back a PSA 7. Unscratched. Have this 1983 Topps Gary Anderson rookie card. This one came back a PSA 8. Next up is this 1982 Topps Joe Cribbs. This one's going in my Bills PC. This one came back a PSA 8. And then the final card for this order is going to be this 1980 Topps Ozzie Smith in a PSA 7. All right, so there you have it. There's all 99 cards. Again, one card did not get graded. It was this Julius Erving from the 1981 Topps set. They're saying it was miscut. I can see a diamond cut where the card's off center, but I don't know about miscut. There's border all the way around that card. Anyways, that one didn't get graded, but 99 cards did. Very pleased with the amount of 9s I got and the amount of 8s I got. Not too happy about the duds. My 4, 5s, and 6s. I didn't realize I had that many 6s in there, but yeah, that's not too bad. I wound up getting 2 10s out of the order, so I was pretty pleased with that. One of them was a Michael Jordan card, and the other one was a Barry Bonds. So yeah, very pleased to get some 10s with some 80s cards. So this is probably going to be my last large order of sending 100 cards in. I'm going to start breaking my orders down to, I don't know, 20 to 25 cards. That way I can absorb some of the losses that I've had between the 15 or so cards that graded 4 through 6s. I mean, those are big losses there, and I'm not losing $15 a card anymore. So I'm going to be a little bit more strategic about how I send my cards in. I do have another order that I'm getting ready to send in. That is the 1950s vintage. So I have, I think, 20 cards selected for that, and I'll get those in the mail here shortly. I got them in the day before the special expired, so I have 30 days to get that order in. So I'll get that packaged up in the next week or so and get that in. And looking forward for PSA to drop their new holiday specials. I think they're going to reveal them. They're going to slow walk them. So we'll see what those specials are. Maybe I'll get some more orders put together. Okay, so that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the selection of cards. If you have any comments, please put them in the comment box. Let me know how you think I did on my grades. Let me know what you think about the selection of cards I sent in. And also, if you're interested in any of the cards, just shoot me a message and maybe we can work a deal out. All right, with that being said, appreciate you watching, and we'll check you out on the next video. All right, bye.